I'm not really a farmer. I'm a freshman.
The entire movie 16 Candles was written in just 2 days. The iconic birthday cake that ends the film? It's completely fake.
Since I was about 12, I've been looking forward to my sweet 16.
You're about to discover 15 accidents and secrets that made this John Hughes movie legendary. You will never see the gym scene the same way again. Number 1. So here's how 16 Candles actually happened. John Hughes was sitting in his office when he spotted Molly Ringwald's headshot on his desk. Something about her face just clicked, and he went into this crazy writing frenzy. 2 days later, he had the entire script done.
He was great. You know, he had these parties set up. The scripts were great. There were always a nice sort of equal distribution of funds.
Most screenwriters take months or even years to finish a script, but Hughes knocked out this teen classic in a weekend because he was so inspired by one photo.
Chronologically, you're 16 today. Physically, you're still 15.
The wild part is how spontaneous it all was. Hughes wasn't planning to write another teen movie right then. He was working on other projects, but that headshot just grabbed him. He later said he could see Sam Baker's whole story just by looking at Molly's face. That's some serious creative lightning in a bottle right there. Number 2. Now, here's something that'll make you want to rewatch the movie immediately. John Cusack is in 16 Candles, and you probably missed him completely. This is before Say Anything, before High Fidelity, before he became the king of romantic comedies.
Bryce?
In 16 Candles, he's literally just a background geek in the gym scenes.
Take off. You wouldn't even be able to prove it anyway.
A, don't hit me. Secondly, what kind of proof do you want?
It's honestly hilarious watching it now because you're like, wait, is that Lloyd Dobler just chilling in the background? Hughes had no idea he was casting a future superstar. Cusack was probably just happy to get any role in a John Hughes movie. Drop a comment if you spotted him on your first watch. Number 3. But the casting gets even more interesting with Anthony Michael Hall. The guy playing Farmer Ted, the geeky underclassman who's obsessed with Sam, he was actually 15 years old during filming. 15. So when you're watching him be all awkward and desperate around Molly Ringwald, that's not just good acting. That's genuine teenage awkwardness because he literally was a teenager. Think about how crazy that is. Most movies cast adults to play high schoolers, but Hughes went with an actual kid. Hall was younger than the character he was playing, which explains why his performance feels so authentic. He wasn't pretending to be an awkward teen. He was living it. The stammering, the nervous energy, the way he gets flustered around girls, all real.
Come on, what's the problem here? I'm a boy. You're a girl. Is there anything wrong with me trying to put together some kind of relationship between us?
This also explains why Hall had such incredible chemistry with the material. Hughes wrote these characters as real teenagers, not Hollywood versions of teenagers. And then he cast an actual teenager to play one of them. It's like method acting by accident. The timing was perfect too, because Hall was right at that age where he could capture both the innocence and the desperation of being a high school underclassman. A year or two later, and he might have been too mature for the role. But at 15, he was living exactly what Farmer Ted was going through. What's amazing is how these 3 casting accidents created the foundation for everything else. Hughes' spontaneous writing, Cusack's random background appearance, and Hall's authentic teenage energy. None of it was planned, but it all clicked together perfectly. Sometimes the best movie magic happens when you're not even trying to make magic. Number 4. Now let's talk about the biggest plot twist in 16 Candles history. And it has nothing to do with the movie itself. Michael Schufling, the guy who played Jake Ryan, literally walked away from Hollywood at the peak of his career to become a carpenter. We're talking about the ultimate heartthrob who had teenage girls screaming his name, and he just said, "Nah, I'm good," and started building furniture. This isn't some gradual fade from the spotlight. Schufling was getting offers. He was the it guy of teen movies. And then he just vanished. He did a few more films after 16 Candles, but by the early 90s, he was done with acting completely. Now, he runs a woodworking business in Pennsylvania and refuses to do interviews about his Hollywood days. Think about how wild that is. Jake Ryan became this iconic character that defined the perfect boyfriend for an entire generation.
Just get some meth, all right?
She not here.
Don't jerk me around, man. Where is she?
She got married.
What?
And the actor who played him wanted nothing to do with that fame. He literally chose sawdust over red carpets. It's like the ultimate reverse Hollywood story where the guy gets everything he's supposed to want and then walks away from it all. The mystery around his decision makes it even more fascinating. He never really explained why he left, which just adds to the Jake Ryan mystique. Maybe he didn't want to be typecast. Maybe he hated the attention. Or maybe he just genuinely preferred making tables to making movies. Number 5. Speaking of hidden gems in this movie, there's another future star hiding in plain sight. Jami Gertz shows up as one of the popular girls at the dance. And this is before she became the vampire queen in The Lost Boys. She's barely on screen for like 30 seconds.
Don't go away, Carolyn, baby.
But it's one of those "wait, was that?" moments when you're rewatching. Gertz was just starting out when she got this tiny role, and Hughes probably had no idea she'd become a Scream Queen icon just a few years later. It's like a mini time capsule of 80s teen movie stars before they became stars. First Cusack in the background, now Gertz in the crowd. Hughes had a serious eye for future talent, even when he wasn't trying. Number 6. Now let's talk about the biggest casting what if in the history of 16 Candles. The role of Jake Ryan, the ultimate dream guy, almost went to a future global superstar, Viggo Mortensen. Mortensen, known today as Aragorn from The Lord of the Rings, was an unknown actor at the time, but he was brought in to audition for the role. He performed a screen test opposite Molly Ringwald. Ringwald later recalled the chemistry during the audition was so strong that he made me weak in the knees. However, director John Hughes ultimately chose Michael Schofling for the role.
Piece of ass anytime I want. Shit, I got Carol in the bedroom right now, passed out cold. Could violate her 10 different ways if I wanted to.
Schofling was deemed a better fit for the quiet, slightly unattainable perfection of Jake Ryan. The near miss is a fascinating secret that shows just how close the film came to having a completely different kind of leading man. Number 7. But here's where things get really interesting with the production tricks. Remember that perfect birthday cake in the final scene where Sam and Jake have their romantic moment? That beautiful, pristine cake that looks so delicious? Yeah, it's completely fake. The whole thing was made out of cardboard because every time they tried to use a real cake, it would melt under the hot studio lights during those long romantic takes. Imagine being Molly Ringwald trying to act all dreamy and romantic while staring at a cardboard cake. The movie magic is real, but sometimes it's literally just cardboard and good lighting. They probably went through multiple versions trying to get it right. And finally someone was like, forget it, let's just make it out of cardboard and call it a day. Now we're getting into some fan theories that have been floating around for decades. And honestly, they're too good not to talk about. Number 8. So there's this persistent rumor about Jake Ryan's Porsche that's been driving car enthusiasts crazy for years. According to fans who've analyzed every frame, that sleek red Porsche 944 that Jake drives, it might actually be a cheaper Porsche 924 that was dressed up to look like the more expensive model. The theory is that the production was trying to save money but still wanted Jake to look like the rich popular kid. Now, I can't confirm this one because the sources are mostly car forums and obsessive fan sites, but it's the kind of detail that makes you want to go back and freeze frame every car scene.
Jake!
Holy shit.
The 924 and 944 look pretty similar to most people, so if they did swap them out, most viewers would never notice. It's like the automotive version of using cardboard cake, just way more expensive. What makes this rumor even more interesting is that it fits perfectly with Hughes' style. He was always finding creative ways to stretch his budgets, and car rentals for movies are ridiculously expensive. So maybe they figured out a way to give Jake the perfect rich boy car without actually paying for the perfect rich boy car. Smart if true, and totally something a scrappy filmmaker would do. Number 9. Here's something that's definitely real though. Hughes basically created his own cinematic universe before Marvel made it cool. The locations in 16 Candles show up again and again in his other movies. The same high school, the same neighborhoods, even some of the same houses. It's like Hughes found this perfect slice of suburban Chicago and just kept going back to film there. You can spot the connections if you know what to look for. The school hallways that show up in 16 Candles are the same ones you'll see in other Hughes films. It's not just budget convenience either. It's like Hughes was building this consistent world where all his teen characters could theoretically exist in the same universe. This commitment to a single geographic area is rare in Hollywood and is a huge reason why his movies feel so cohesive. Think about how cool that is.
What are they like and why are they acting the way they're acting? That's most interesting to me.
Sam Baker and John Bender could have walked the same hallways. Ferris Bueller probably drove past Jake Ryan's house. It's this hidden layer that makes rewatching Hughes movies even more fun because you start recognizing all these familiar locations like Easter eggs. The shared universe thing also explains why Hughes' movies feel so authentic. He wasn't just dropping into random locations to film, he was working in communities he actually knew.
Call me, okay? You call me first, tell me what happened at home.
Huh, I can tell you right now, nothing.
Would you quit feeling sorry for yourself? It's bad for your complexion!
This practice made his movies immediately recognizable, giving his audience a sense of comfort and nostalgia whenever they spotted a familiar street corner or a house facade. The familiarity shows in every frame. Number 10. And speaking of connections between Hughes movies, Hughes was so blown away by Anthony Michael Hall's performance as Farmer Ted that he immediately started writing The Breakfast Club with Hall in mind for Brian Johnson. Like before 16 Candles even hit theaters, Hughes was already crafting Hall's next character.
Well, floppy disks are pretty expensive, and the thing is, I made a bet with my friends.
This explains why Brian feels like such a natural evolution from Farmer Ted. Both characters have that same nervous energy and desperate need to be accepted, but Brian is more mature and self-aware. It's like Hughes took everything that worked about Hall's performance and built on it.
No, I'm not. John said I was a cheerleader, and I said I wasn't. That's it. That's all it was.
The timing was perfect too because Hall was growing up in real time between these movies. Farmer Ted is pure teenage desperation, while Brian has this deeper understanding of social dynamics. Hughes basically gave Hall a character arc that spanned multiple films, which is pretty genius when you think about it. Number 11. Now we're diving into some confirmed behind-the-scenes stuff that's way more fun. John Hughes loved leaving little Easter eggs in his movies, tiny details that prove his films all exist in the same shared universe. This is most obvious on the cars. The license plate on the Baker family's car reads V58. This is a direct verified reference to Vacation 58, the short story that Hughes wrote for National Lampoon that eventually became the basis for the movie Vacation in 1983. This detail is pure gold because it shows that even the most mundane parts of the set design were intentional. But the most personal plate is on Jake Ryan's iconic red Porsche, which has a license plate that reads 21850. The numbers are a direct reference to John Hughes' own birthday, February 18, 1950. He often slipped his own birthday, his wife's birthday, or other significant dates into the license plates of his characters' cars. It's his subtle way of signing his work and creating a connective tissue between seemingly separate stories. This detail turns a simple prop into a personal signature that ties 16 Candles directly to the rest of the Hughes cinematic world. Number 12. Alright, we're getting to the really juicy stuff now. And this next one is pure fan theory gold. There's this persistent rumor that the final kiss between Sam and Jake wasn't actually scripted the way it played out. That tender, perfect moment was almost entirely improvised, which would explain why it feels so genuine and natural. This is unverified fan speculation, but it's been floating around for decades. The theory goes that Hughes gave Molly Ringwald and Michael Schufling the basic setup but let them find the moment naturally. If that's true, it would explain why that kiss doesn't feel like typical movie romance. It has this authentic, almost shy quality that's hard to fake. What makes this rumor so believable is that Hughes was known for letting his actors find real moments within scenes. He wasn't the type of director to choreograph every gesture, especially for emotional beats. So the idea that he just said, okay, now you two figure out how this should feel, totally fits his style. Whether it's true or not, that final scene works because it doesn't feel performed. It feels like two people actually connecting, which is probably why Jake Ryan became this impossible standard for teenage girls. The kiss feels real because maybe, in some way, it was real. Number 13. You know that school dance scene where Sam finally gets the kiss she's been waiting for? It looks cool and romantic, but behind the scenes, it was a literal sweatbox. This is one accident that made the shoot absolutely brutal. The gym they used for the big dance sequence didn't have air conditioning because the local school district didn't have the money for it. So, during filming, the temperature inside the building soared to over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Imagine wearing those heavy 80s clothes, dancing, and acting romantic while basically sweating through your costume. The crew had to constantly mop the floor and touch up the actors' makeup every few minutes. That intense, suffocating heat actually added a frantic, slightly desperate energy to the whole dance sequence. It wasn't just the gym either. Sam's bedroom set was actually built right inside the same school's gymnasium. So, when Molly Ringwald was acting out those deep personal moments in her room, she was doing it in a sweltering hot building. The actors were burning up, but on screen it looks like the coolest night of their lives. That genuine struggle adds a subtle layer of authenticity to the final scene. They definitely earned that happy ending. Number 14. Let's talk numbers, because this is where 16 Candles gets really impressive. This movie cost about $6.5 million to make, which was already pretty modest for 1984. But then it went on to earn over $23 million at the box office. That's not just successful, that's a financial phenomenon. Think about those numbers for a second. Hughes basically quadrupled the investment with a movie he wrote in 2 days about a girl whose family forgets her birthday. This massive financial return completely redefined the teen movie genre. No explosions, no special effects, no big action sequences. Just good characters and real emotions. And audiences ate it up. This kind of return on investment is what studio executives dream about. Low budget, high concept, massive audience appeal. The film's success provided the definitive proof that there was a massive, untapped market for authentic, character-driven high school stories. 16 Candles proved you didn't need huge budgets to make huge profits if you understood what audiences actually wanted to see. Without this financial win, the studio would likely never have greenlit films like The Breakfast Club or Ferris Bueller's Day Off at the budget they received. Sometimes the simplest stories are the most powerful ones. Number 15. There's this persistent discussion among fans and even the cast about a sequel. Molly Ringwald has publicly stated that she would be open to revisiting Sam Baker's story, but with a crucial condition. It would only happen if John Hughes himself was involved. This makes the prospect of a sequel nearly impossible after his passing in 2009. The fact that the star of the movie was so fiercely loyal to the director shows the depth of their creative relationship. Hughes didn't just write roles for Ringwald, he helped define her career and gave her a voice that resonated with an entire generation of viewers. For her, any continuation of Sam's story would require the only person who truly understood the character's heart and voice.
Everything's just getting shittier. My family forgetting my birthday just makes it more vivid.
What do you expect, a breakfast birthday party?
No, but they could have at least said happy birthday. I mean, it was just like any other day.
The actress campaigned for a sequel around 2008, recognizing the continuous fan demand for an update on the characters. While many fan theories about a sequel exist, including one titled 32 Candles, where Sam's family forgets her birthday again as a busy adult, none of these concepts were ever officially developed or confirmed by Hughes or the studio. The moment Hughes passed away, the possibility of a true, authentic sequel essentially vanished. This is why the movie holds such a unique status in cinema history. It remains one of the great what-ifs of 80s cinema, but its status as a preserved classic is a direct result of Ringwald's commitment to the original vision. The very impossibility of a sequel is what guarantees the original film's legacy. So there's the pattern nobody talks about. All these accidents and spontaneous decisions created something way bigger than anyone expected. From Hughes' 2-day writing sprint to that cardboard cake, the best parts happened when nobody was trying to force movie magic. If you want more secrets from 80s classics, check out our video about The Breakfast Club next. You'll never see detention the same way.